Welcome to another episode of Planting Seeds with Soul. Raw conversations on transformation, truth, and finding light in the darkest places. You may not hear what you want, but you will definitely hear what you need. Alrighty, you beautiful bunch of bone bags. Hope everyone's been doing well. This is the last episode of the year, and what a better bloke to have on for the last episode of the year. Welcome back, brother Mitch. How are you?
Thanks, bro. Good. Cheers for having me on.
Very welcome, man. Very welcome.
Back.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to sitting down and having a chat. We were just having a chat out there. I'm like, fuck, we better get in there and save something for the actual podcast, you know, because that's the way it goes down best, just like a normal chat like that. But yeah, welcome back, guys. Hope you're looking after yourselves and all that type of thing. Today, bro, I guess let's just sort of see where the wind takes us, sort of do a little bit of a recap, like you said, on the last potty. For those of you who don't know, had Mitch, he was on the first season, wasn't it, bro? First season. Mitch, how would we put it in a nutshell, bro? This one, your experience in a nutshell from the first potty, like where we sort of left off.
So, how I've been since then, or my?
I guess what you went through on the last potty, sort of what you shared.
Yeah. So, through the experience of my rough teenage years of Lewis and Liam, was that podcast. If anyone didn't watch it, kind of just reflected on a big traumatic event that happened when I was 17, and carried with me for a fair few years. And I was talking to Corey just before and explaining how the first retreat that I went to, I feel like I definitely released a lot of that I carried with me since then, which, you know, all the way from 17 to 20, 29, close to 30, which was a long time to carry things inside you, but hey, doesn't really have a date. It's just one of those things you deal with when you're ready. And I think you learn a lot though, like with the time that you spend, carrying things. Like you learn how really important it is to let go, and you know, like you're always going to remember. It's not like you come out to a retreat and it's like bam, forget that. No, definitely not. By no means. I mean, there's still days where I'll have some tears, or most days, because I've got a photo of Lewis up in my kitchen, I'll still be like, I want to remember it. I don't want to forget it, but I don't want to carry it the way I did, I guess. Like,
you want to look at that pain and look at the experience sort of differently.
Yeah. I think you need to eventually let go and let it flow more.
I don't know if you mentioned, so Lewis was shot and killed.
Yeah, Lewis was shot and killed by Liam.
Which was one of your other mates, right?
Yeah, I was close mates with both of them, so it wasn't really an easy one to take in, and took quite a few years to process. Not to mention it was very drug-fueled and we were all very lost, so kind of had to work my way from already not being mentally prepared for a situation like that, and just dealing with the best way I could, which was at the time was just escape more, which I dabbled in a lot of different substances, mainly like, you know, your party drugs, your MDMA, I got into like ice and speed and whatever really was the goal at the time, but I never really got as hooked into. I definitely loved my pills and my MD, but I didn't really, after what happened with Lewis and Liam, I never really pursued the ice thing. I felt like that was more what caused it. At least in my mind at the time, I was like, oh, it's just the devil.
Oh, yeah.
That drug, you know,
Yeah.
which in a way it is. Like, it can take someone so quickly and destroy their life.
Yeah.
I think it just speeds up the process a bit quicker than a lot of other things.
Do you reckon that, you know, that meth, that ice and that carries a pretty, like, if you want to call it this, I'm not saying it is this, but like a dark, demonic, evil type spirit that, like, it can take you well away from yourself.
Yeah, I think it takes your morals, takes a lot more of your soul away, I guess you could say. Whereas, you know, you've got your other drugs, or I didn't really find it. Other substances were interesting. Like, as I said, I dabbled with MD and all that. In my younger years, MD seemed to just give me a euphoric blast, which I could connect with people and have good conversations, but I felt it took just as much as it gave over time. Mm-hmm. It had a double side as well. It was a bit more like, no matter what it gave you in that moment, it was probably a bit like, it was like a massive burst of it, and then you'd still go back to being an individual that couldn't communicate with people. Mm-hmm. Unless you're on this drug, and then it's like a you kind of seek that. I think it's like this, you seek the connection, and I don't think that that's a healthy substance to be taken all the time. So I eventually left that one behind, although I did have some great experiences with it. And weed was definitely a huge one of mine, and it had been a massive chunk of my life pretty much since 15, I'd say, all the way up to 28. I stopped smoking about a year and a bit ago now, maybe a little bit longer.
Yep.
And I don't really regret it, but it was a battle for me, because as I was saying, like, it was my first kind of drug that I...
Fuck up. Oops, sorry.
No, you're right.
Telling it to fuck up like it's gonna.
And I know you don't like calling it a drug, and realistically it isn't. It's probably more considered plant medicine, but anything used in the wrong sense, I feel, can definitely send us worse than better. And for me, it was just like, I only really started to smoke when I backtracked and think about it. It was because I didn't really fit in at school, and I didn't want to be there, and I was seeking some other experience, and I seen other people that were having this experience with that, and it was very prohibited to me at the time. It wasn't really like what it is today, where you have medical and you have all this fucking, you know, it seems like a completely different world than when I was growing up. It was like, fuck, you got this little bit of fucking weed, and it's fucking...
Yeah, a little baggie of weed.
Shit, if I get caught with this, I'm fucked, you know, like, you just...
Rebel, hey?
Yeah, you think, damn. And I think that was half of it, like the adrenaline of doing something that you're not meant to be doing. I think I got hooked on that because I'd do little things like wagging school, smoking weed. And I think it was, more the adrenaline rush at the time rather than the thing itself, maybe, because I didn't even enjoy smoking weed when I was younger, I'm not going to lie. I actually had terrible times my first few times.
So did I, man.
Yeah, true.
I did. Yeah, like I didn't find weed till later in life because I hated it so much when I was younger. But I remember going to a party the first time I had it, had one cone out of a billy, and I went to that party and sat in the same spot for fucking like 4 hours. True. And didn't talk to anybody. It's like, and I didn't want anyone to come talk to me either. I couldn't even get up and leave. Like,
how old were you?
Oh, probably 14, 13.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, how could anyone like this and that? Like, mates were going to the movies, going stoned to the movies. I'm like, I don't know how he's even going out in crowds and that, but you know, today, like, I can walk down the street with a joint and puff on that thing, and like, I don't care where I'm around, who I'm doing it with. Like, I've got a really good relationship with it. Every time I'm, you know, pulling the buds off the stem, I give thanks for it and like respect it, and I know that I'm not doing it to
to escape. And you're right. It's anything used, too much. I think how's it go? Poison is be anything beyond anything we need. Anything too much that we're doing, any one thing that we're doing too much is gonna become that thing that we label as a drug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't point the finger at weed so much. I'd more point the finger at why I was using weed. And I've kind of learned that about addictions, things we use, especially to escape when we're not in a reality we feel like we want to be in. And it wouldn't have really mattered if it was weed or whatever. Weed just ended up becoming that thing, I think, because it was easily accessible. I found more of the lifestyle of weed too, which was the rebellious side of it, the just people that I would connect with, the cooler guys in my opinion when we're in school, the ones that, like, I had a few mates that I looked up to ever since I was a young'un, that were my brother's friends, and they all ended up being stoners, and I was like, oh yeah, like I just looked up to them and thought they were pretty cool, so I was like, fuck, I'll give it a go. And the first time I ever smoked was at school.
At school?
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
I fucking bought weed at school from my mate Charlie. I don't know, it doesn't really matter anymore.
We can just snitched on you, Charlie. No, joking.
No, fuck it. He won't really care. He won't remember.
He won't remember?
Nah, he will remember for sure. Yeah. My first little baggie. And it was... I held on to it. I was like, fuck, I don't know if I should do this or not, because I had a mate go halves with me in it, and we were just like, he bailed out, and I had this little fucking bag, and I was like, fuck, like now I'm stuck with this baggie, and he doesn't want to do it anymore. So I was kind of like 50-50, and then I was like, well, I've got it, I'll just find another way, and I'm YouTubing how to make a bong and shit. I'm like making these dodgy bongs, and like I don't know, I didn't end up doing it at home, but I became friends with this other kid at the time, and somehow we ended up connecting with so when I was younger, I don't know about you, but we had Daros and Metros at school. Yeah. And I wasn't really a Daro or a Metro. I was just like a in-betweener.
Yeah, you're in-betweener.
Just like, well, don't really want to be a Metro.
Yeah.
I'd rather be a Daro, but at the same time, I don't really want to. But I was like I was right in between, and I kind of always walked that line as I grew up, mainly because my parents weren't really, like, my parents, I wouldn't say they were well off, but we had a nice home, we had good things. My parents kept everything nice and clean. They were respectable in the sense of society, and then I would go off and try and be the opposite. Because I wanted to rebel. That wasn't my nature inside, I don't think. It wasn't really like, I don't know.
It's not in our nature to be told what to do, I don't think.
Nah.
Yeah.
So I went to school one day and found this group of people, and we went to leave school to go smoke it at this oval, and we ended up getting caught on the way. Like, this teacher pulled up and he took a photo of us all and was like, get back to school, fucking this shit. And we were like, fuck, we've been caught. We better go back and shit, I don't know. So we went back, and then I remember my mate had, them grinders. Well, I wouldn't even really call him my mate. I wouldn't say, like, we were just associates at the time. This other fella had this, them grinders that you just like, you put it in and it's like it like feeds it through. Yeah. It's like a herb grinder. He was like chopping it up with that on this tennis court at school, and then we all went into the toilets and we smoked in the toilet there.
Yeah.
And
this was your first time?
My very first time in the school toilets.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Smoking a cone, and I don't know why I thought it was a good idea. I just wanted to try it so bad that's what it came to. And smoked it in the toilet, and I remember sitting out, like I walked out and I was like, it's not really doing anything. I mustn't be that high. And then like a few minutes later, I'm like sitting on this staircase, like, fuck.
What was your first experience like? Can you remember?
Yeah, I remember like I felt like I had waves throughout my whole body.
Yeah.
I felt like my body was doing this,
Yeah.
and I was just super uncomfortable in my own skin, and I was just sitting there like pretty much on the brink of a panic attack, and I'm just like, I'm at the school, what the fuck do I do? You know what I mean? I'm fucking stoned as fuck at school, and then I was sitting there and starting to panic because I'm like, what have I done? You know, I didn't even know what I was in for, just decided to do this thing, and now I got to go to class.
Fucking hell.
Fuck was I thinking?
Yeah.
So I got to go to class, and not to mention it's my most hated class, which was math, because I sucked at math, and I had the grumpiest teacher.
Oh, no.
So I'm like, fuck, I got to go to math. So go in there and walk to class, and the walk to class was like, god damn, what am I doing? I got in there and it was a substitute teacher.
Really?
I was like, fuck, how good is that? And then I just like instantly, within a couple of minutes, I put my hand up and I was like, I need to go, I'm feeling sick. And then she was like, all right. I went to the sick bay and they were like, oh, you're not feeling well. And then I was like, nah. And I was like, I need to go. And then they're just like, I'm sitting there stoned as fuck, just in this sick chair in the front office, just like
paying it off as a proper
yeah,
sickness.
just like nah, just feeling not well. And
yeah, man,
like,
your eyes are pretty red.
yeah. No, luckily they didn't say anything, and they were like, we'll call your mum or dad. And I was like, damn, I got to get picked up. And then they were like, your brother's on here, because my brother was in year 12, and they were like, he can come get you because he's on your thing, like your parents aren't answering. They've got him on call.
Yeah,
and I was
nice.
like, yeah, call him. And then he's like, come pick me up, took me to Macca's, and
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, got away with it.
Were you telling him all about it?
Yeah, I was like, I got stoned at school, and and then it just carried on since then. Like I just,
you have it. Why is that? Why is it that we have such a fucking terrible time? We get that much paranoia and shit. Can't wait to do it again.
I don't know, eh? It's interesting, huh?
We love chaos, do we?
Yeah.
The unknown, I guess.
It's like people who get drunk as fuck and like they'll have the worst time and have the worst hangover, and then the next weekend they'll be like, time to get drunk again.
Yeah, man. It's how it works with me with gear, like drugs and gear and fucking alcohol and all that sort of stuff too. Like, I'd have moments where I'd get out of control and I'd really crash and really fuck up and really fucking feel bad. And then, you know, if you're like, oh, I'm not doing this again, fucking stupid, like, keeps happening. It's like a pattern and you know it.
Yeah.
Keeps happening, and then a few weeks pass and then you're like, I feel better, I'm doing better, I can afford to just let me hair down a little bit. I'm not going to fuck up like I did before. Like, I want to enjoy a beer, I don't want to fuck up. And then, you know, we consume too much fucking shit. The spirit of that thing fucking can take a hold of you. I think we let the problems into our life with the things that we let into our life, that we, you know, do by consuming. We were talking about it before, you know, the distractions in life, the dopamine. We can't sit still. Maybe we should have a bit of a chat about that.
Yeah, I think that's a good topic.
Yeah, like, you know, with the problems that I've had in my life personally, like, I've brought them in with my choices, and a lot of my choices has been trying to, I guess, go and capture some type of feeling, experience some type of feeling, a lot of feelings, and a lot of the same sort of feelings, you know, just distracting myself because fucking, like, even now, like, it's just, like, it can, I do love sitting still, but it gets to a point where I'm like, I've got to go play the game of life now. I've got to actually dive and start using my mind as a tool instead of just sitting here and observing it. And like, I've got to go play.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like if you want to have a play.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
What's your thoughts on the whole thing? The whole distractions and...
I think it stems from, well, obviously we have to do things in life. You know what I mean? We have to experience, we have to live. I just think it comes down to, are your experiences healthy or unhealthy? Are you doing things that are destructive towards your life, or are you filling your life with creative things that are filling the world with more good than bad, if you know what I mean? I feel like no matter what we're going to be chasing, we're going to be looking for more experiences, but are we doing that through pain, unhealed things, or are we doing that through the opposite, I guess?
Like, why are we?
Yeah, because that's what I've found. I've really started to, over the last few years, reflect on my own habits, specifically with things that make me feel negative, that I keep doing. Like I said with the cannabis, like I did that for 15 years, and then, or close to 15 years, 14, 13, whatever it was. And like, don't get me wrong, I had so many positive experiences with it, but there was a period there for years where I would smoke it and I'd be like, why did I get high today? Last night I was so high that I told myself I wasn't going to get high again today. And then I did it again. And now I'm sitting here. It would be mainly on the shitter because it would make me go to the toilet, and I'd be sitting in the shitter like, fuck man, I had my morning planned out perfect. Because like, I think I would notice it more because I was working for myself, making the glass. Like, for those who don't know, I make glass art, and that's what I've done for the last 10 years. For the most period, like I've had work in between and stuff, but
Amazing art too, by the way. And might I just throw in there too, like, Mitch can absolutely talk about this subject. Like, what's the name of the joint you live in at the moment?
Old Bonalbo.
Yeah. So, and that's out in the sticks. Like, there's not much going on out there, is there?
No,
like,
definitely not.
It's like very secluded land, very, very remote. Well, there's not the distractions that are around here out there, put it that way.
Yeah.
So there's very limited. Yeah, sorry, brother.
No, you're right. It's probably better to explain it a little bit in the sense that, I live on 52 acres and I spend 3 to 4 days a week on my own with my animals, and then my brother, he also lives at the farm, and at certain times we've lived there together full time, and then at this current period he works away in Coffs just doing some caring work, so I get like a part of the week where I'm just in that solitude, in that space. And don't get me wrong, I've got mates that come and visit from time to time, but not as common as when I first moved up there. There was a fair few more people. I mean, kind of like anything, it's like when the party ends, the people stop coming.
Yeah.
Like I personally stopped taking substances and doing all that stuff, and I noticed naturally people fall off in my life, which I'm not. Don't get me wrong, I still like them people, but I can understand why we might not connect as much anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like there's any negativeness on either end. It's just that like certain things bring you together.
Yeah.
And just like, fuck, well, unfortunately, those things don't really exist in my realm right now, even though, well, the hardest part is like I've always carried it because of what I make through my glass. So obviously people probably don't know that I make bongs and cone pieces and everything to do with smoking. I don't really, I make the odd pendant or cup, stuff like that. But it's
made a prezi for Kelsa's birthday, little necklace there.
Yeah, little necklace.
It's fucking magic.
Yeah, which I do get joy out of making those things, but for some reason I'm still called to make these functional pieces for people to smoke through, even though I don't smoke anymore.
What a test butt, like fucking, from the world you've come from, like most people are like, fuck, isn't that fucking proper trigger? Wouldn't that just be every day like torture?
Yeah, it's interesting, I know, and I've had friends that are like, because I still have friends that smoke all the time and come to my house and smoke up, and it doesn't really ever cross my mind. I feel like I got to the root of that and pulled the root out. Because there was a period of time where, I would have struggled a lot harder and I wouldn't have been able to have people in my presence. And but now I don't really think about it like that. Like I'm gonna have it sitting there, people smoking all around me, and I'm not really like drawn to it. It's not like I'm like forcing myself. I'm like, oh fuck, sitting over there like, fuck, I wish I could just go have a cone with the boys right now. Like it's like, it's not there.
Yeah.
It's not this thing in the back of my brain. Because if it was, I would probably go back and do it. But I've kind of left it where I did, and there's times where I think I still have memories of that life and the lifestyle and the highs and the stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, I still have moments, and I still smell the plant. I like the smell. I still like the smell of weed. I loved it. That's why I love getting a new bag of weed.
Well, you'll be smelling it in this room all night.
That was half the passion for me, was the weed itself. Getting these different strains, these new buds, these new flavors and stuff, and that is a part of the culture, you know. It's like a huge part of it, the different smells and whatnot. But that was also what led to my career in bong making and making pipes and conies and whatnot, because everyone always asks me, oh, how did you get into that? Not many people do it. And I'm like, well, I started by collecting bongs, and then I was fascinated by glass because I used to smoke out of these bongs, and there'd be, you know, some of my dealers in Adelaide would have these, not glass bongs, but these crazy contraptions that they had made with 2 different bottles and hoses and shit, and it's like a double percolated, and I was always fascinated by these designs, whether it be like making a sick one out of plastic or eventually going into the glass. And then in Adelaide, I was just lucky enough that there was a culture of glass blowers. Not many, don't get me wrong, but there was like this. So it started with collecting glass. Then my mate Taylor was like, you should come along to this event called 420 in the Green. It's like an event they hold every month, and a bunch of stoners go there. Like Adelaide's it had a decent culture for cannabis back then. It was always a state that grew the best weed, and you know, everyone talked about Adelaide. And we had these 420 in the Greens or whatever they were called, and that's where I would go on to meet people that would collect different glass, smoke at a higher level, older people that have been in the scene and the culture a lot longer, and become friends with them. And they would have pieces that it kind of started with Toro glass and Sovereignty glass, just a couple of brands from America, and I'd get fascinated by them and start collecting these pieces. And at one point I had like 5k in just glass bongs.
Fuck.
And I was just obsessed with collecting. And then one day a guy opened up a store in Adelaide in the CBD, and it was, I don't remember the name, but he was a good bloke, Ryan. He opened up this store and gave everyone an opportunity to sell their glass in there. It's a bit of a hub. It was ironically like across the street from this cop shop in Adelaide on Harvey Street. Yeah, but it was upstairs, so you had to knock and call him to get up there.
Oh, okay.
So it was a bit more private and whatnot.
Yeah, was there a bit of like a few guys and girls doing their glassware to put in the shop?
Yeah, well, at that time there was probably 4 or 5 glass blowers that were into that scene, and that was still a lot compared to any other state. Like there's still to this day probably only 10 to 20 glass blowers that make what we make and do what we do, and some of them have fallen off a bit. It's not an easy thing to do by any means. Like the investment to get the setup for one, it's fucking a lot.
Really?
Yeah, like you got to get everything from America.
Oh, yeah.
Or you got to get your clear glass from Australia, and the shipping costs and material costs only ever going up. And then to get materials here from America, it's just fucking expensive as fuck. And then you got all your equipment that comes from America, all that jazz. And the setup isn't easy. So that's one thing that deters people. And then it's just not common to learn it and stuff like that. You pretty much have to learn through the internet. So yeah, it is what it is, but there was a more dense population of glass blowers there, and it was kind of like kicking off a little bit back then. And I went and did these lessons with this lady named Vera, and she was a bit of an OG. She had been doing it for like 20 years at the time, and she makes these just a lot of beautiful things, mainly marbles and stuff. But she had dabbled into the functional glass art too. And she gave me a bit of a few lessons there. I think I did like 4 or 5 lessons with her.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, yeah, no, this is like lighting my soul on fire. I really feel like this is my calling to do something like this. Because I was always into art from a kid. I just loved drawing, stuff like that. Was never really super good at it in my own opinion. I feel like I hadn't found my medium, whereas glass it's a different medium. It's not like pen and paper. It's not like pottery. It's its own unique thing. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to explain, but the way that you can shape it and form it, it's a lot different than. Well, it's not too different than pottery, but in a way it is, because your hands aren't getting all messy and shit. I didn't really like that. Didn't really like the hands getting messy in pottery. I just like the glass. It's very
clean.
Yeah, clean, and the way it comes together is fascinating. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of hard days it breaks and does its own thing. But it's taught me so much about myself.
There's your one that you made us, the jellyfish.
Little jellyfish.
Yeah. I need to get a bigger necklace for it.
Yeah.
It's a bit tight, but yeah, if you can see that one there. Probably not. The camera's a bit old, but like this is a pretty basic sort of thing for you to make, isn't it?
Yeah, in a way,
not the design by any means, but the
shape and all that. Pretty basic. You'd pretty much start doing little things like that. It's more the design on the inside with the silver that took me a while to get, but I can kind of do the design very easy, but to get the color variations is the hardest part. Like you'll see in the one that I made, Kels, it's a lot more purple and rich, and it's a lot harder to get them rich purples into the silver, because that's all I use to get the patterns. You'll notice like that's all that's in hers as well. It's just silver.
Yeah, right.
And that's all that's in that one, pure silver.
It's fucking amazing.
So silver can range all these different colors, but for the most part, when you start, it's just like this. It's hard to get these rich purples and deep reds. People kind of like chase them. It's like delving down a rabbit hole that never ends, but I managed to get to the other side of that and find them purples, which was nice, and took me a while, but yeah, it's been a journey. And with the weed itself, it was a battle there, because I'll go back to this. So when I first started glass, it was such a burning passion that I dropped the weed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just didn't smoke for like a few months because I was just so enveloped in this new thing that I'd found. And I was just like fascinated as fuck, just full on glass. And then eventually over time I started to smoke again. The crazy thing was, like, I had all these pipes laid out, right, that I'd made, and like most of them when I wasn't high were kind of, I wouldn't say basic, they were just less colourful and all this stuff. And then I smoked weed this day, and like this one was completely different.
Yeah.
Like all colours and fucking, you know what I mean? Like it was so different to these ones that I had lined up. You could just clearly see my mind on weed.
Yeah.
Compared to all these other days. And
do you feel like it allowed you to express or maybe put more flavour? By the sounds of it, it did.
I think it did, but it just made it easier. Whereas I found it a bit of a double-edged sword over time. So I used it for that creative expression for multiple years after that. I would just continue to smoke weed and blow glass. That's all I did with my time. Like I just smoke weed, blow glass every fucking day. And then I had a career in cooking as well. Like I was a chef and...
Oh, fucking Kelsey's got some competition.
Nah, fuck that. She can have it. She's a soldier for being in that realm.
Fucking oath.
Nah, it's a different passion in itself. I liked the high-paced environment of being in a kitchen, being under pressure, working under pressure. Time seemed to go a bit quicker. But I was kind of forced into that after the Liam and Lewis thing. It was like, you kind of have to get your life together now. Like, what are you going to do? And it's like, oh, I'll go do this apprenticeship in cooking. And so I was like doing that on the side, and I was doing glass on the side of that. So I'm like blowing glass. And then eventually I found a way out because my apprenticeship, the company went into liquidation. And then they were like, oh, you should probably sign up with the pub that you're with and finish your apprenticeship there and shit. But I didn't get a good vibe from the guy that was running the joint.
The pub?
Yeah. And he was like, no matter what, mate, just never go casual, just stay full time and finish your apprenticeship. You can sign up with us. And I was like, I'm going to do the opposite. Like, it was like the same thing with my parents. I was like, I'm going to do the opposite to everything this guy's telling me. Because I just didn't feel right with his fucking way of life. And I was like, nah, fuck it. I'm going casual. I got this glass thing. I'll go find a casual job cooking. And I did that for a bit and tinkered with this like casual life and blowing glass. But at that same time, I was like, I wasn't well within. I felt good when I would blow glass, and then
just from what happened and what?
Yeah, I think I carried a lot of that with me, especially being in the place that it happened. It was like a different feeling because like I'm still in the area that my mate got murdered. I'm still in the environment, and it's hard to get away from the trauma when you're in the place that it happened, I feel.
Yep.
It's like not to say that you probably can't, but for me at the time, like it would just be a constant remembrance, and it was always weighing on me because of how heavy it was. And just also like I was very anxious. I got to this point where like I didn't know if it was the weed or if there was something wrong with me, but I couldn't really express it to anyone because my parents, they didn't really like weed, and at this point they kind of half accepted my usage of weed, but it wasn't allowed to be seen by them, if that makes sense. Like they were like, oh, we'll accept you as who you are somewhat, but you can't have the weed. Like I would always have it in the house, and mom would be like, can you fucking stop? It stinks in here. Fucking keep you know what I mean? Just like trying to kind of balance this thing out, which she just never liked the smell of weed, never wanted it in the house, which I tried to respect, but I was selling weed. I was fucking smoking weed. I'm full blown stoner. Trying to live at
making the paraphernalia for the
like
weed.
Literally like
the full trinity.
Yeah, I'm just like, this is my personality pretty much. Like it's part of who I am, and I try my best to keep it concealed and not stink, but it's pretty fucking hard with weed.
Oh yeah, it is,
so
man.
I
just accept it now.
Yeah,
I got a backpack, and whenever I go on journeys, Kels is like, you got your backpack. Yeah, yes I do.
And it's just the smell that lingers, and I was dealing with that. Like I was back at my mum's house at this period, and I remember it was like really a mental battle for me, like to the point where it would get worse and worse each day, this anxiety that loomed over me, that felt like there was something seriously wrong within me, but I couldn't talk about it. I don't know why. I just felt like I can't explain it, so I'm just going to battle with it. And I would like be doing my art and, you know, things, and then I'd go to work, and every time I'd go out into the world to go to work or go get a pie from the fucking shops or anything, like I would just feel the weight of the world, to the point where like I would have these feelings where I'd be like I was sinking, like I was just gonna collapse and die every day pretty much. Like it'd be like this weight around my chest, and my mind was just fucking me, just, you know, you could barely even go up and order a pie without just breaking down. Like I'd walk into the shops and just be like holding it in, you know what I mean? Like these tears and this fucking feeling that I couldn't explain. I couldn't put into words. It was just fucked. And I dealt with that for as long as I could, till one day I went to work and I was walking down my street, and we've got this like shopping centre on one side, and then like the way I go to catch the bus on the other side. And there's this medical centre at the shopping centre. And I'm like at the corner as soon as I leave my house, and this feeling's just coming over me and shit. And I'm just like, I either go to the hospital and tell them what's wrong with me, even though I don't really know what's wrong with me, or I go to work. Like, that's how bad it was getting, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But I'm fucked. And I'm like, fuck it. I just turned left and I went to work. But I got on this bus, man, and I just like, I remember sitting down at the bus stop and I was just like, I don't know if I was in tears then or if I was just holding it back, you know what I mean? Just holding this drowning feeling back that just always would come out in emotion of tears and just feeling this thing. That it's hard to explain, you know, but I got on I called my mate who was an ambulance officer at the time, and I was like, look, James, like I explained to him what I was feeling, and he was pretty much, look, like, bro, you're having a mad anxiety attack right now, like, you need to breathe and concentrate on things, and told me how to try to get through it. And I got on this bus and it was packed, man, and I remember walking up to the back of this bus and like getting in the back seat and it was just packed, and I just felt super alone in a bus full of humans. And I had this feeling, bro, that I should just like tell this guy next to me how I feel, but I couldn't. I could not tell anyone, bro, except for my mate on the phone, James, that I felt a bit of a bond with, that I could trust. And yeah, I carried that with me until it just broke me.
We should be able to go to old mate on the bus or whoever it is and be like, fuck, man, can I just fucking let something go?
Hey, bro, I'm fucked.
Bro, buckle the fuck up because you're on here.
Yeah, and it's sad we can't. Like, we're in a world full of humans, or at least at the time I felt like I'm in a world full of humans and I can't even communicate to anyone. Well, luckily I did have like my brother and James that I did call at that time, and my brother was living up here at the farm and I was still down there. And one day after work, man, I held it together for that day at work, and then I would walk home to the bus and I'd just cry, and that's when it all come out. When I wasn't at work, I just walked to the bus stop and just cry my fucking eyes out and call my brother and be like, yeah, I just feel fucking fucked.
And what the weed was bringing it on, like?
I couldn't even tell at the time.
Yeah.
I just think it was
a mixture by the sounds.
Yeah, everything was way too heavy on me, and I wasn't right. But then eventually, like, I just kept smoking and trying to mask this thing, but then my lung collapsed.
Oh, yeah.
So that was like I think that's what half my body was trying to tell me, but I wasn't listening. Like, you've got something going wrong. But I couldn't feel, like, I wasn't in myself enough to even realize, if you know what I mean. Like, I just was living too fast and not sitting with this feeling and this anxiety that was just fucking me. And
do you reckon you had become it instead of the one looking at that thing? Like, it had consumed you in a way?
Yeah, it definitely consumed me. But at that stage, I wasn't really super aware. Like, I'd read a book before that, or maybe around that period, called the Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, which really expanded me in certain ways, but it also, after a while, I lost that expansion, and I guess I was just lost. Like, I didn't really know why, but I couldn't avoid that feeling anymore. And then when my lung collapsed, like, it was like amplified, because I think it was the aloneness too. Like, if I had just spoken to someone and got it out and started to work on it, I probably would have been able to work through it. But because I just kept it in and I didn't try and like let anyone know, really. Like, don't get me wrong, I told my brother and my other mate, but I only did it because I had to over time. Like, I needed to get this out. But then at the time my lung collapsed, so I went to hospital for that and felt like I was fucking having a heart attack. And the time the lady's like, fuck, you're looking pretty pale, and like it just sent my anxiety off even worse. Just because I'm already like super anxious. I can't fucking tell this lady. I'm just in there for a collapsed lung thinking I'm fucking having a heart attack. My arm's going fucked, and yeah, I just wasn't taking care of myself either, and I think it was all just a mixture. I was skinny, I wasn't eating properly, wasn't taking care of myself mentally, smoking all the time, draining myself to nothingness, you know, just expecting to feel good mentally. And yeah, no, the lung collapse kind of like sent me, I was in hospital for 8 days for that, and that was like a ride in itself in many ways. Like I just had to deal with myself fully because I couldn't smoke. They wouldn't let me out to smoke. And up until this point, like smoking was my escape. So like it was like a period where I was forced to not smoke. And then I couldn't smoke after that, but I took edibles, and it sent me straight back to that place of this fucking like, to the point where I probably was like on the brink of sending myself mentally no good anymore. Like I'd get high and I'd freak the fuck out, and then I'd do it again and again, and it just eventually like it leveled out a bit. Couldn't smoke for a while after my lung collapse, so that kind of like sent me a bit more straight. And then I'd have periods where I wouldn't smoke, and I'd gain a bit of clarity again in my life, and then I'd smoke again, and slowly over time I'd get back to this anxiousness and this fucked feeling. And I think the best thing for me was moving up to the farm. Even though it carried a lot of darkness from my life still, I went up there 7 or 8 years ago now. I couldn't even really tell you the exact time, but it gave me a chance to be alone and face all the discomfort. Even though that was hard as fuck, and it took me a few years still to face this discomfort, which would come in waves. So there was like period of newness at the farm, this new stuff, and then a period where I would find myself yet alone again in my own thoughts, in my own head, and have this same pattern appear where I'd be getting high at home, but now I'm out in the middle of nowhere and there's no one to talk to. So I'm like this, I fucking get high and my brother's at work or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, I got my day set out, I'll blow some glass, get high, boom, I'm back in this headspace of just all these thoughts coming through. It took me so long to figure out that it was the weed that was, like, I kind of knew, but I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
And it was just this battle of like, this is fucking my head up, but I enjoy it too much. It's a part of who I am. I need it to be creative, and it's just a part of my life. And it just took me so long to get out of that pattern. But once I did, I'd have these long stints, like a couple months of not smoking, and then I'd be like, oh, okay, I'm feeling better again. Feeling clarity. I'd start doing shit I wouldn't normally do, go for runs and fucking be like taking care of myself a bit better, eating better. That was a huge thing. I just couldn't barely eat when I'd get too into smoking weed, because I'd start off slow, like, yeah, I'll just have a couple joints, one a day or whatever, right? Next minute I'm just smashing fucking dabs.
Yeah.
Fucking all day long.
That's what I was like with the coke, man. Like, continuous.
Yeah. And it just becomes this spiraling, out of control habit where you put it before everything else. You put it before breakfast. You put it before everything, and then it's just like, fuck. Like, now I don't feel like I'm performing up to my standard. And my life's probably not as good as it could be because of this thing that I keep fucking doing to myself every morning, even though I know the day before that I should stop. But then carried that for a while, have these breaks, as I said, and then find the clarity, process heaps of shit on these breaks. Like, all this stuff would come up. I'd just be driving in fucking more tears, just like, but these times it felt like I was processing in a good way, but it was also uncomfortable as fuck. Like, there was so many just times of just processing shit, and then to took me a while till I got to this point where I wasn't smoking, and I managed to just drop the habit completely, which, like I said, a few years ago now, year and a half. But that also came with like a lot of questions about my life in the sense of the glass, because I'd found this passion through cannabis, through this thing which I thought had to be a part of my glass. Like I was like, well, now what's my purpose? Like I feel like I don't relate to this glass as much as I once did, because I just loved it because I made shit that I could smoke through. You know what I mean? So it's like, fuck, I've spent all these years, almost 10 years.
I was doing it for me.
Yeah, just to make shit to get high with, but now I don't have that burning desire to get high. I don't really have this burning desire to make this artwork or this glass as much anymore. And I went through that period of like getting healthier, getting stronger in my mind, trying to find something new that maybe I could, because I've always liked to work for myself, and that's half why I like the glass, because it gave me this availability to be at home and work for myself and do all these things. But yeah, over time that kind of really came into question if I like this thing that I'd so heavily invested a good chunk of my life into. Not to mention like monetarily wise, but like just everything, you know, all I knew. And then, so I'd gone and worked other jobs and shit. And then, as you see, like I got into fitness and health, and that definitely helped my mindset a lot personally, like eating better, getting more physical, taking care of my body, becoming more aware of my body, and yeah, just taking care of myself. And then now it's kind of like taken a turn back to like, I don't have to smoke to make this art. I can just make this art without smoking. I still have this skill that I feel is very valuable, even though it's a lot harder to be a creative person without being stoned every day. Slowly over time I get better at that, and like I'm just grateful that I implemented these better habits in my day-to-day routine. Instead of me getting up and getting stoned, I now get up and do the gratitude, do a bit of fucking fitness, and then get into my artwork, which I still feel like there's hard days, more hard days than good days, in the sense of like, when I first started, there was a burning passion for this thing. I think it's like anything, you know, like you get into a relationship and it's all new and it's all amazing, and then slowly over time it becomes more and more work. Like with anything, just like you think, oh, like I'm going to keep this burning fucking passion forever, but it dwindles away into something else, and then that goes on a whole new ride in itself. And it's like it's weird, you know, the one thing that took me into cannabis kind of took me out of it at the same time. Well, sorry, like I started the glass through the cannabis, but the glass took me away from the cannabis because I wasn't able to do it as good as if I was sober.
Yeah.
So now I've come back to this, like, it's weird as fuck, but it's just how it worked for me. And yeah, it's just comes back to that habit thing. I think like I feel better mentally, and I think that's the main thing. Because I was so bad mentally at one point that I'm like, it's crazy. Like I feel like I live a different lifetime because of how down and anxious and fucked I was. I didn't know that I would ever make it to the other side of that.
You thought you were stuck in it? Like you didn't think it was ever going to go away?
Yeah, I just kind of thought, will it get better?
What was anxiety to you? Were you looking into the future too much, anticipating things to go wrong, anticipating for more anxiety, more of that feeling, more of that lostness? Or
I would say so in a way. I'd say definitely, yeah, to an extent. I would probably want to be somewhere that I wasn't at the time. But for me, the anxiety was, I think it was my body. Now I look at it a bit differently. I feel like it's trying to guide you by giving you this feeling, wherever it's arising. It's your body trying to tell you something. It's your mind. It's trying to move you to where you need to go. And that's why I'm glad I dealt with it the way I did, even though it was so fucking uncomfortable. And it was such a battle that I came to the other side of it, because I feel like if I went to that doctor that day and he just prescribed me some shit, then I never might have gone to the other side of it.
Yeah.
Because I think the only way to the other side was to face all the discomfort, go through all this shit that was weighing heavily on me. That's what it felt like. That shit was weighing super heavily on me, and it was killing me. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
But I just had to go through it, I guess, and that's one thing I'd tell anyone that ever feels that way. You know, you can't explain it, and I'm sure there's people out there that feel it, but like there is another side to that. Same with depression and stuff. Like, yeah, you might have spurts of it again, like moments of it again, but it won't last forever if you deal with it properly. I feel.
Yeah, fucking oath. I think to know that it is going to pass and it will pass.
Yeah.
And that it will be back too.
Yeah, for sure.
Like the acceptance of what is absolutely necessary. And you said, you know, like that feeling that came up, I feel everything, all the good and the bad is trying to get our attention, to steal our awareness. And when we, you know, go through things in life, we're holding on to things that, you know, the things that we don't resolve. The higher intelligence, you know, you or fucking whatever it is out there is going to, you know, that feeling of anxiety will come up, and it'll come up because it's like, fucking pay attention to this.
Yeah.
Like, this is where it's at. You need to figure this out, even though it might be really confusing. You know, just it wants your attention. There's a reason as to why things are popping up. You know, physical issues. You know, those feelings of depression and anxiety and all that type of thing. It's like it's showing you where to fucking work.
Yeah.
It needs to be done.
Yeah, it's pointing to something deeper, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It's
absolutely.
I think it's an important one, and I think too many people avoid it, and that is the stepping stone to the other side, even though it's super uncomfortable. And yeah, it sucks, but you've got to learn it to get through it, I guess, and it's part of being human in a way.
And we look at this world subjectively too. I think like that's one that's got me good. Like, you know, things are taking our attention. You know, we notice anxiety arise, or we notice a thought arise. I notice you arise in whatever way I'm noticing. You know, I notice sensations and that. Like, we are subjectively looking. You know, anxiety comes up. I notice that anxiety. I notice I'm feeling yuck right now. For you to be able to notice that thing over there, you know, that anxiety wherever it lives, becomes quite clear to me that, you know, that anxiety or that thought or that sensation isn't actually you. You're the one looking at the fucking thing. And that's helped me out a lot to be like, you know, I'm not that thing. It allows me to observe that thing, and sitting in that watcher, like there's some higher, like to be able to look at it and then use your mind as the tool. Like there's different levels and heaps of different corners, and yeah, to the mind, like there's some high heights, like the levels go higher of the intelligence. You know, you use that thing to nut out, you know, whatever's going on. And don't make it too fucking confusing on yourself. You know, the mind will always try and figure its own self out too. And that is just a dead end road. Like, you can't figure out the mysteries of fucking everything.
Nah, definitely not, eh?
You get yourself tangled into a bit of shit there, I think.
Yeah, it's a never-ending wheel, that one. And yeah, it's interesting life, but I think the more that's why I like what you're doing here, and even at the retreats, it's bringing back discussion, bringing back me sharing my perspective, you sharing yours, just helping people to understand that we all go through these things.
Yeah.
We all kind of have these internal battles. It's just learning to deal with them and learning to understand them more, why they're arising.
So that understanding, trying to, like, once you understand something, once you see something, I guess, like, you can't unsee it. Once you hear something, you can't unhear it, especially when it, like, hits you.
Yeah.
You know, like an epiphany or
100%.
whatever way it comes to you. Like you were saying, that book that you've been reading, the first few pages, it's like, it's obviously clicked for you, something in you where you're at in life right now, and it's like, fuck.
Yeah, I'm at that point in life where I'm trying to not keep filling that void of emptiness that I feel every now and then, which I think comes from lack of connection. But as we were talking about, like, just the phones and stuff, and I feel like it starts to weigh more heavily on me. It's like the disconnection, but obviously that comes from within me. It's not that the world's disconnected, it's that I'm disconnected from the world, and I'm probably not connecting with others as much as I can, which is important. But I just feel like there's also a separation because of the devices. Like, it's just the world we're starting to live in, and it's a weird one. I don't really know. It's hard to explain, but I definitely look within more, trying to look within rather than look without. As I was saying earlier, it's like the more I'm just seeking these things and these more things, it seems to be distracting me from why I'm feeling this way. And the more I sit now, and not even sit with myself, I don't fucking just sit there and just, you know what I mean? But more learn why I'm doing these habits to distract myself. From what the fuck am I actually distracting myself from with these habits that I feel aren't good, like sitting on my phone and scrolling, or like I said, I had a bad habit with the porn for a few years there. Like, why did I have these habits that take me away from myself, that leave me feeling more empty? Like the phone when I'm not using it correctly, like the drugs, like it's something deeper, I feel. And when we get to that root, we really can work it out. You know, like it's...
And you need to be sitting in that stillness, don't you? Like I guess with as little distractions as possible. Like if you can take out, you know, certain elements that would take your awareness, you know, like hearing and seeing and...
Yeah.
You know, touch and taste and smell or whatever, the 5 senses, and that, like, or it doesn't have to go that fucking far, but
it's
like you will know, like, you know, like if you sit into a space where there's, you know, not a lot of noise, there's just not a lot of distractions going on, you're sitting there in silence, not moving. You wait and see how long it takes you to fucking move, and like, oh man, I've got to get the fuck up and I've got to move, or even just like, I've got to scratch this. Like,
100%.
You don't actually, I've been testing myself with that lately. Like if I get an itch or I feel like something's aching and I need to move, I'm like, no, just stop and don't don't move, don't get distracted, just be for as long as you can. And it proves to be, quite difficult. Obviously, the longer you try and sit in it, it's like, I guess you'd call it boredom.
Yeah.
People get bored. We're so heavily stimulated with all of this shit out there.
Oh, it's true. I find, because I want to make, like, I'm trying to make art and stay productive most days these days. And, like, because I'm on my own, like, I guess I'm witnessing it a lot more, that I go to my phone a lot, but just to watch shit that I'm just like, it's not benefiting me. It's just, I'm clicking story to story to fucking story, just like...
Some of it is though, isn't it?
Yeah,
like,
don't get me wrong. Some of it is, but I don't want to be having to run to that all the time.
Yeah, like why, even if here we go, even if it's good, why do we need to still run to it, Like, why do we always need to be consuming or putting our awareness on something?
Yeah.
Like, I had a conversation with a bloke on this potty too, and he, football's a good thing. You're moving your body, you're getting fit, you're in a, you're connecting and all that sort of thing. But he was sexually abused when he was younger, and the football, even though it was good, was a distraction for him that kept him away from those feelings.
Yep.
It wasn't until the highlights sort of stopped and the footy stopped, he was like, fuck, what's going on now? What's going on here? And then he realised that he'd been holding on to this unresolved stuff for a long time. And, like, footy's not bad. We can sort of hide things with the good as well.
Oh, for sure.
But unconsciously, we don't really know.
Yeah, I think anything can really take away from it. And once again, like, I think it comes down to, like, only I know what is good for me and what is negative for me at the time. I can't go and tell you what to do with your time. Like, it's how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if I'm sitting there on my phone, I'm thinking to myself, I shouldn't be, like, I'm having this feeling deep within, like, I know that this isn't benefiting me, and, like, I know that I should be maybe doing something more productive with my time or something else, not this thing here. Something that's not completely just giving me these dopamine rushes, and I'm not being within myself. I don't know, it's a bit hard to explain, but, like, as I said, I think it comes down to the habit itself. Even though you said, you footy and stuff, yeah, like, that can be a distraction from yourself. But for me, I can only speak from my personal experience of, like, how things are making me feel. And there's certain things that weigh heavier on me than others, like the weed was at the time. I just knew deep down it wasn't serving me anymore. And I had to let it go to become who I was maybe not meant to become, but who I was deep down inside. And I kept running from that person. And I think that's half of it. Like, especially when things happen at a young age, I think we are... A lot of people don't want to look back to that, especially when it's super hard. Like, I couldn't imagine something like that happening as a kid, like being molested or anything like that, because the childhood is such a sacred thing, I feel. And then when these things happen in that period, obviously people aren't going to want to go back there and face it, because it's, I don't know, it's fucking hard to go back to these things, especially I could imagine the younger it happens, like it would mess with you a lot more, I feel, in the mind. But it's interesting, and as I said, I can only really speak from what I'm guided to do, and I just feel like there is things that I still need to work on to become more whole within myself, and they aren't things that take me away from myself like that. Like, things like this where I'm connecting with other humans and talking, and I feel like this is a great thing. The phone, yeah, it can have its benefits, and I still can connect with people in a great ways, and I'm sure you do. Like, there is a massive upside to it. I don't really look at it as like, oh, this fucking shit's fucked, I hate it. I actually feel like it's a massive blessing. I think everything's a blessing. The fact that we can get food delivered to our door, and we have all these conveniences, but we can't get lost in the conveniences.
Yeah, we just need to, like, you're aware of it. That's what it is. I think just that awareness of it, being fully or as much aware of things, much in our own selves, as much in the present as we can possibly be, so we can see this shit. Like go. I say go and experience whatever you want to experience, as long as you know that everything's an experience and a distraction, or it's not going to, anything outside yourself is not ever going to give you ultimate happiness. It's always going to be fleeting. It'll always just fleet by. It won't stick around. It doesn't have unlimited energy of happiness. It's going to come and then it's going to go. If you understand that and you're aware of that, that money's not going to make you happy. Your wife or your husband is not the thing that makes you happy. The house or home that you have been desiring for so fucking long is not the thing that's going to make you happy. If you're aware of those things, that they won't make you happy, then fucking go out, break, dissolve all of these limiting beliefs that are stopping you from going and experiencing these things, and go and do it. Just be a good cunt about it, be a good human about it, about things, and that sort of where I'm at life. I'm starting to accept certain things. Like, I know that there's nothing outside me that can make me happy, and it's something that I constantly and consistently work on still as well, because we've all been brought up in this same world, all in our own different way, and it's a hard program to break free from. It's like all these little things and shit we've set up within ourselves. It's like, got to start knocking that away, knocking this away, so that I can move into more new environments. It's like we've got this unlimited landscape, and then as soon as we're born into this world, because we're not aware that we're aware, and how the show works, so we just start piling all of this stuff on top of us, which is getting piled on top of our awareness, and we're just so fucking clogged up with all of this stuff. It's not until we understand that we got to remove that thing. It's not like we don't expand our awareness. Awareness just is what it is. We just cloud the fucker with too much shit, and then you'll see once you start, it looks like it expands when you remove that belief, or you remove that person and stop consuming that thing. It looks like it expands, but you're just removing certain things, certain distractions, and then the window of awareness gets clearer. You're removing weed, obviously. That thing that you were consuming, alongside with the thoughts that you were feeding as well. That's obviously brought so much clarity to your life. It's like I wonder how much clarity that we can bring when we really start starving ourselves of certain things, even just if it's knocking back the food. You said that you started eating cleaner. If we're consuming dirty shit, our window and, our reality is going to be dirty. If we're consuming clean shit, we've got to consume shit. I think the balance of consuming and creating has to be sort of as good as you can get it, with the balance of those two things.
I think so. And it's important to remember that, and I think no one can guide you to what that is for yourself except for yourself. It's a personal journey, and we're still here to experience. We're still here to be human. you know, and I think that's important too. Like, it's good to have goals. It's good to want to create life because we are creative beings, and I feel like that's why we always have this urge. Like, everything around us is created by an idea that was in someone once, and I feel like that's a lot of our purpose here, is to be creative, but we get too caught in the consumerism, as you said. Like, it's like I think that's where I was at. Want to be creative over here, consuming too much over here, which was clouding my creativity and making me feel less good. And the more I get back over this side of creating and just feeding the better thoughts, as you said, like I would have, at one point in my life, I was fucked for feeding them bad thoughts, you know. And that's why I think the gratitude was I wouldn't say like the things that I do are super important anymore. I'd say they're more a stepping stone, but I just enjoy doing them, like the gratitude. Like, it's not like I have to do that every day to be grateful anymore. I just do it because it's become a habit. But just rewiring the brain to be like, instead of like, oh fuck, I've got to go do this shit right now, it's like, no, I get to go and do this. I'm so lucky that I get to go and do that. And instead of me being like, oh, I've got to get down and do my fucking, like, I don't even have to get down and do the push-ups. It's like, no, I get to do that if I want to do it. And I know so many people that can't do push-ups, and not because they can't fucking do a push-up, it's because they can't physically anymore do a push-up. They don't have limbs, they don't have you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I'm so lucky that I can do this activity still, that even though it might bring me some discomfort in a moment, I know that it also has a good side. And it's
absolutely. And like, there's people out there that don't like have limbs, say just for this one thing, push-ups or fucking legs to do shit or anything. But there's also the side of like, you don't know if you're, you know, when that opportunity of you being able to use all of this 100%. Shit could be chopped
100% from
you, you know. Me and Kelsey were just talking about that the other day about, we actually said it on the last potty, Halo. We opened up the back fence, let her have the whole back and front yard for a few days while I was doing some shit out the side. And we put the fence back up, and Kels goes, do you reckon she made the most of the front and backyard before we put that fence up? Because we come home, she's just chilling out the back with the familiar. And I'm like, I don't know. She's like, that's a pretty powerful one, isn't it? Like, making, like, when an opportunity comes, are you going to jump into that fucker and just take it, grab it by the balls? Because, like, that mightn't be there tomorrow.
Yeah, 100%.
You know? I think it's a good lesson.
Yeah. I had a mate message me. I won't go too much into detail, but he was like, his mother and him were having some issues, and he was like, I just love my mother so much, but I don't know if I can't forgive her in this moment for the things that were occurring. And I just like reminded him, I was like, man, just don't hold on to that grudge for too long. Even though, like, you know, I'm not going to try to take away from the severity of this thing that this pain has caused you, but like, don't hold it for too long because you just never know when. That's why I try to remind myself with family, and I don't really care anymore. I'm just like, I know that's one thing that I have within me, because for one, like with the Lewis thing, but then like I lost one of my dogs so young, and she was there one day and then just gone the next, and she was only one. And it just like, it reminded me of life, and even like I had my uncle pass, and like, you know, one day he's messaging on Facebook and next day he's gone. And like, you just get these reminders, especially when people pass away, that you never know when that call's coming. And that just to not, don't sit in that fucking hatred too long if you don't have to.
We think it's not going to happen to us too, eh?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, it's Yeah, it happens to other people, but it won't happen to me.
Yeah.
I think about that. Sometimes the weed brings that on.
Yeah.
You know, like you might be thinking, "Fuck, I could just have a heart attack right here." Like people have heart attacks in their sleep, and that. Like this is not a regular thing, but a thought that'll come through. I don't know if it's the weed actually. It just comes through. But when you think about it, when you've consumed weed and that energy's running through you, I don't know. It's different. It's like
Amplifies it a bit.
It's like, maybe it's going to happen now.
Yeah.
It's like the chances are higher now or
Your heart
something.
starts going a bit faster.
Yeah. Oh, hang on a sec. It's happening. Or like, just anything like that. But
yeah, it's true. Like that's why I usually the first thing I try and write in my gratitude is that I'm grateful for another day. Because realistically, like if we can't get up, I'm not going to say if we can't, but like we should really realize that we are lucky to just get one more chance.
Yeah.
Every time we wake up.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the circumstances are. Like you got another chance. You might be in debt. You might be grieving. You might have all these things going wrong in your life, but like you got another chance today, which a lot of people didn't.
Yeah.
And
like right now, that chance is just getting chopped.
Yeah.
With many. Yeah.
And it's an important thing to remember. I think that makes you live more fully. I mean, it makes me live more fully and appreciate that. That's why I want to be more present. It's because I know that shit's gonna end. Like my dog's gonna die. I gotta spend as much fucking time with her as I can and absorb as much of her energy as I can while it's here and just be with her. And I don't want to be sitting on my phone distracted if I can potentially be spending time with someone that I love. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to waste time. I feel like it's important to not waste time. And that's one big thing that weighs heavily on me too. It's like, even though I try not to live too fast, I just try to direct my energy into the right things. Because it's not permanent. The only constant is change. And, I'm very, very well aware of that nowadays.
That's the thing that we're spending. That's the important thing we're spending. It's not the money. It's the moments that we live in every moment of now.
Yeah.
Which is a hard thing to capture, hard thing to sit in, being in the world that we're sort of living in with all of the pretty little lights and things going on.
A great thing I heard the other day was, it was on the internet, It's like I was watching this guy in America and he's like does this. He's a jeweler and shit, but they just have this really good energy. And like people say that it's not just like they're on camera, that's how they are. And this guy came up to him and gave him a painting and he was like, thank you so much for just being the way you are, because you sparked inspiration in my life. You spark a lot into my life, and I just want to give you this painting in gratitude of you being who you are as an individual. And then he said, and just to remind you that energy is the greatest currency. And that really sat with me in that moment. I was like, it's so true, like you could be a millionaire, but you could just be so shallow. And then there could be someone with nothing, but they can give you a gift that millionaire could never give you, which is the energy that they have created within themselves and spent time to become a good individual and ground themselves. And that's something money can never buy. And I feel like energy is the greatest currency, like if I can uplift someone's day just by being kind, giving good energy to them, there's no amount of money that could have, money might have just been like a spike in there. Oh my goodness, thank you for this money, and now I got this money that's going to bring all these problems into my life. But this energy you've gifted me to change to be a better person, like you have for me. You gave you become a better person. And at that first retreat, like, you guys offered me a space because you took the time to create that space to process things to become better.
That's fucking all it is, man. Really.
Yeah.
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 Like I'm took in what you said out there, or maybe you said it in here. You don't come to the retreats for the same reasons now that you first come for, and I fully understand that. I love that.
Yeah.
Because I don't want you or anyone else to be repeating.
No, exactly.
like not processing, because that's just, I don't know. The whole point is to process.
Yeah. And that's just kind of how I live my life now. Like, I feel like I'm more pulled to things, and that's just one of them. Like, I feel like we connected for a reason, and I like it out there. I liked just the experience too. Like, I don't know, we had that time where it was fucking crazy, the waterfall. And then we had that time where it was super dry. And like, it reminded me that everything's just constantly changing, like, even us, like, each time we go to the retreat, we are coming different. I don't know if you've heard that saying, but like, the same man never goes in the same river twice. And it's just so true. It was like us at that waterfall that day. It was like we are constantly changing, but even though life feels sometimes so permanent and stuck,
Yeah.
but I don't know why. Just
Like the waterfall, like it could be like, I'm fucking stuck.
yeah,
What's going on here?
Fuck, am I ever gonna stop flowing?
Yeah.
Or now I'm dry, and then there's just no fucking water here, and am I ever gonna fill up again?
Yeah.
And it's the same with us. And
100%.
we forget we're part of nature. I think we really do, and
Yeah.
it's little things that, well, I don't know. It's a big thing, It's a fucking massive waterfall that reminds us of that. And it's,
You can learn everything from nature.
yeah, we are nature, and I think that's why the farm gave me that space, because I'm just surrounded by nature, and it really grounded me in the sense to remind me that. Whereas, I don't know, don't get me wrong, like, I still feel like the city it's its own energy, it's its own thing. There's probably different parts that have a different energy. See a lot of chaos in the city. But then, there's still amazing people that live here like you, and I've got other friends that live in areas that are heavily populated where they still manage. And for me, sometimes I'm like, fuck, could I go back to that? I don't really think so. Like, I could. I feel like I could be anywhere, because I could make wherever a good place, but even though with the challenges of that, and my grandma constantly reminded me that I'm getting older, and what am I doing out there? Come back to fucking, she's like, come a bit closer, and have you ever got a woman yet? And,
I think that you'd be sweet, like you have found yourself enough to be like, I think I love peace and quiet. I fucking love it. I think that having the blend of like the chaotic shit around here and living here and being brought up here, and then going and spend some time in some peace and quiet, it's sort of like really fucking, I don't know, it gave me sort of a best of both worlds. I can be in the chaos but just sit and fucking look at it.
Yeah.
And not let it can't touch me. Not the real me. It can fuck with my ego mind if it wants, if I'm tied up into that thing too much, but it can't actually touch me.
Yeah, I think it taught me no matter where you are, it's within you. You could be in the most peaceful place in the world. If you're not at peace within, then it doesn't really matter where you are. It's still going to be carried with you. And that's a big thing about the farm that it taught me, is like, and especially the time in solitude. Like, there was points where I couldn't blame anyone else for my shit, where I was like so alone that I can't blame you for my problems. can't blame anyone for my problems but myself. Like, because there was a period when my brother went to France for a few months to visit one of his girlfriends, and I think that teaches you a lot about yourself when you don't have people to blame.
Mm.
And I don't know, I guess I lived into that victimhood for a while there of trying to find external reasons to why I was feeling this way. Or a great saying was like, because like so many of us think other people are the problem, but then if you went and spent time by yourself, you'd quickly realize that you were the problem.
Mm.
And you're creating it from within. And that taught me a lot about that. And yeah, it was an uncomfortable thing to face at times, but I'm grateful that I did to get where I needed to go. It's just, I think that's the big thing, you know, like it might seem like I'm more at peace than I am some days, but I still deal with the chaos. But I notice it's a lot more loud when I wake up in the morning. And then over the day, if I'm doing the right actions, I seem to be able to quiet that down a lot quicker. I don't know why, I'm just inherently negative. And
You dreaming a lot?
yeah, I dream. My dreams are pretty out there, but I don't really, like, I remember when I was younger, I'll wake up from dreams that were bad and feel that anxiousness or like, oh fuck, that was a bad dream. But I don't really have good or bad dreams anymore. They're just dreams. Like I could have something go wrong in my dreams. Like, I don't know, the other day I got bitten on the hand by a snake in my dream. And this will be something that happens every blue moon. I just get bitten by a snake because I've worked with snakes. I have this inner fear, even though people are like, oh, what? But you work with them. And it's like, yeah, but I'm still very well aware that if I get bitten, I'm fucked. It's not like, oh yeah, I just fucking oath, mate. Brown snake, just fucking, you know, like I get there's people that do that, but it's not me. Like every time I go to a call out, I'm like, this could be my last day fucking alive, and I'm going to do it to go help this person, but please watch out for me, God, or whatever's out there, you know, like I just hope it goes smooth. And, you know, like it's just a very big reality of it. And that's another thing, like I was shit scared of snakes, and they always used to come at me in my dreams. And I know it happens for a lot of people. And it was at one point, because my first dog died from a snake bite, right? She got killed by a red belly. And before that, I was already scared of snakes before I moved up to the farm, because I lived in the city and never dealt with snakes. So I'm just moved out to the farm, download everything that everyone else has ever fucking thought about snakes, that they're just this fucking thing that kills things and they're just dangerous as fuck, and stay the fuck away. And the only good snake's a dead snake. Like, not that I wanted to kill him, but I was like, fuck, there's a snake in the yard, better fucking kill it before it fucking kills my dog or one of us, you know? So like I just had that mindset of fear towards the snake. And then ironically enough, like my dog died by the snake bite, and I carried a lot of that still. But one day there was this python, and it was curled up on the fucking outside on the compost pile, and I'm like, I need to move that python, but I don't want to kill it. It's a python. And I just decided, fuck it, I'm going to pick it up.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do it. Like, I don't know why. I just felt, I also had this fascination with them. But at that time, like I'd have dreams, man, and there'd be fucking hundreds of snakes coming out from under my house.
Yeah. Okay.
And I couldn't understand it. And it was sometimes very fucking confronting, these dreams, and just all these snakes and shit. And then, yeah, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go pick this snake up. And I just picked it up, and it didn't bite me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck, it didn't even...
It was chill?
Yeah, it was just... Oh, it wasn't chill, but it wasn't biting me.
Yeah.
Like I thought was going to happen. And then I was like, oh, that's crazy. Like, I moved it, and we had this... I felt this connection with this being in that time, that it wasn't what I had been trained to perceive it to be through my fear.
And why was that fear there? Where do you reckon? Is that like TV, you've heard it somewhere, mum and dad, school, maybe fucking snakes, watch out for those cunts?
Yeah, I
They're
think
no
it was
good.
just inherent, like
Yeah.
it was just ingrained in me as a kid, and just never, it was also the fear because I'd never been around them. Like I hadn't had someone that had had a snake in my life. I hadn't ever fucking, the only snakes I ever seen were wild snakes out in the bush, and then the snake had killed my dog, and then, you know, like it was kind of like a series of events, and then I picked that one up, and I was like, fuck, that's hectic. And slowly my passion for snakes grew, but it was because I knew deep inside me, if I didn't face this thing, it was going to eat me up. Like I see so many people these days that are just, like if they had that experience where a snake killed their dog, man, they carry it for the rest of their life and hate snakes and kill every snake they see and fucking despise snakes. And I didn't really want to carry that with me. Even though, the snake took my dog, I just, because I'm out in nature, I start to realize, like, but the snake has its purpose. It's got just as much of a right to be there as my dog, even more so because it was born there. His life was, this is his space and we're in it. And then, I just delved more and more into it, and slowly over time, that fear, I turned it into a passion, which was interesting, like converting something you're scared of into something that you can work with, but with respect. And that was a big thing for me, and they helped me overcome a lot. And then I found out I was born on World Snake Day.
Oh, really?
It's just like crazy coincidence. And I was like, what the fuck are the chances of that? Like, my birthday is on World Snake Day.
Yeah.
And like, ever since then, I've had this with connection with the snakes. Like, I've got snakes at home, and I don't know, I feel like it's not a massive passion of mine anymore as much as it was when I first got into it. This is kind of like the glass, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like things come in these big waves and then slowly it simmers down, but it's still there. It's like, I don't know whether that's just me or if it's with other people, but like, I'll like have these spurts and then it like calms right down. I'm like, got to find the love for it.
Well, it can't always be up, can it?
Nah, definitely not.
But it's like not something that's gonna, fully. You've obviously, like, that passion is like that connection to that thing. Like, there's obviously a deep connection with you and the snake. Like when you first picked up that python and you handled it, you put it down, it didn't bite you, but most importantly, you felt something.
Yeah.
You felt a deeper, not that it didn't just bite you, but there was something else there, something more sacred.
Yeah. And I think it was the snake is a very sacred thing, and it is there to teach us a lot, I feel, in its own way, because one, the shedding of the skin, the snake's always got to shed its skin, and it gets very dull, and it's the same thing like the waterfall, like the snake will go through this period where it'll lose its color and it can't even see properly anymore because its eyes go very cloudy and it fills with water and they just can't see, and it's fucking probably feels hella uncomfortable, and then it sheds its skin one morning and it's all fresh and it's beautiful and it's colorful again, and it's a reminder that we all go through this.
And that's to grow, right?
Yeah,
that bit of growth.
If it doesn't shed, it doesn't grow, and it just stays pale and fucked. Like, you've got to shed that skin. You've got to.
And you can't take that. Well, fuck, you can take the skin with you if you want, but she's gonna be not a very cruisy, easy journey.
Nah, you better off leave that behind.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Let it go.
Yeah.
It doesn't serve the snake anymore.
And they're really not out to get us. That's what I've also found. Like, you definitely should respect snakes, and I'm probably more aware than most people of that, even though I handle them. I think it brings a new level of awareness to the point where, like, I'll try my best to make sure I got a pressure bandage if I'm going out walking, because I know that if you get bitten by a brown, you're fucked.
How long you reckon?
20 minutes if you don't have a pressure bandage.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're going to really want to get a pressure bandage on pretty quick. And
Honestly, just thinking about that. Like, I've been climbing this Mount Bolly in Bonogan, and it's about an hour up to the summit, an hour back. It's pretty intense, and you've got to scale these rocks. And I'm like, I've never taken anything with me, but last time I was like, fuck, if I do get bit out here, like, I could be fucked.
Yeah.
Like, they'd have to airlift me down and shit.
Yeah, it's something to be aware of. And like at the end of the day, we don't have bears, we don't have fucking crocodiles and shit like that to worry about. The only thing we've got in nature that can seriously take our life very quickly is a fucking snake. And like if you're in America or somewhere where there's bears and fucking wolves and shit, you'd be taking a gun with you or whatever, you know what I mean? To be sure that this thing, if you do come across it, I mean, no one wants to have to kill something, but like if it's fucking about to kill you, then you really got no option. And well, I guess what I'm saying is like you would carry protection if you were in a country like that and had these big things that you had to worry about. Potentially, I don't know, but like most people here don't understand that like just carrying that one pressure bandage can give you 6 to 8 hours.
Oh, really? Is that long? Fuck, I better invest in one of them, bro.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
And that's like just with browns. And the other thing is like you don't want that venom. So what a pressure bandage in Australia, we'll use pressure bandages, and because the fangs on our snakes are such small fangs, there's much more of a chance of it getting into not the bloodstream, but into, not deep in the bloodstream. So it'll travel through our lymph nodes. So the quicker you can get a bandage on, and you want to start from the tip and go all the way up, because you don't want to be able to move anything because it's going to push venom. You want that arm to be completely immobilized, so you start from the tip right all the way up to the lymph node here. Say if you got bitten, even if you got bitten here.
Would you be going as tight as you could too?
You want to go tight, but not like hella tight, because it's going to swell.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, you want to get it on pretty tight, like enough to restrict movement and stuff. But definitely if you get bitten here, you're going to want to start down here. It doesn't matter where on the limb. Always start at the bottom. Even if it's your leg, you're going to want to take all your shit off if you can. Sometimes it's better to leave the sleeve on to give you a bit more impact, but wrap from the bottom all the way up to the lymph node, and then do not move that limb, and then there's the other thing is like as soon as that gets taken off, that venom is going to go straight to your lymph node, and you're going to want anti-venom registered before you take that bandage off, and it's going to swell, it's going to start to get real uncomfortable, you're going to come delusional and think that it's best to take this shit off, you know what I mean, because you fucking got venom in your system. You're going to be like delusional as fuck. And so it's not a good thing to get bitten. And yeah, it's just important to remember that and be aware of that in Australia, and don't fear it. Don't fucking manifest it in your life, but understand that it could happen, because it happens to people, and your best chance of survival is to have that pressure bandage. And just be aware that you should know how to do that, because we're in a country where that's our biggest fucking...
That's it. Like, don't stop this from you walking.
Yeah. No.
Or going out the house.
Go enjoy yourself.
That's how fear works, but...
Yeah.
Actually, fucking man, I was doing a deck at my dad's the other day. Probably seen a couple of things I was putting up, but he's on the canal there, and I was chucking in one of these planks, and I heard this fucking big splash. Kids swim here all the time, and this probably metre-long bull shark had just fucking beached itself chasing this mullet or whatever it was chasing. Yeah, man. And I know that there's shit floating in the canals and all that sort of thing, but now that I've seen that and at a spot where I'm happy to jump in the jetty, happy to have the kids in there. Like, man, the eldest one, we swim together just across to the other side and swim back. Now I'm really like, I don't know if I can like risk letting the kids in there and that. But that's silly too, because they've been in there so much and everything's been so fine, but that's how fear works. Like, now that I've seen it, if I was to get myself in that water, the fear is going to be way more intense than what it ever was.
Oh, for sure.
But the danger may not even be fucking there. Like, the danger's gone, well gone. But to me, the fear is so strong now. I'm like, it could pull me back from letting the kids in there. But
yeah, it's a hard one, man. I was fucking. I seen that people. I'm not gonna laugh at this. I don't know why. I just fucking. Nah, that poor lady that got bitten. I think she got killed actually by the bull shark recently with her partner.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where it was, but it was like a 3 meter bull shark. I think they said it was a decent sized one.
Fucking hell. That is a big one.
Yeah, she got killed by it, and her partner got attacked too. They said it's rare that it'll attack 2 people, but yeah, unfortunately she didn't survive. And
fucking hell.
I was like, fuck. Do I want to go swim in the fucking ocean anymore? Like, I was like, I don't know if it's worth the risk. But as you said, like, it just, I'm sure if I was at the ocean, I'd probably swim in it. But I just guess it's that awareness thing.
Yeah.
It's like, just be aware. And
sometimes you just don't want to know.
yeah, exactly. I tell you right now, I would not be swimming in water where there's crocodiles.
Nah, they're next level.
That scares the shit out of me.
They sneak up on you.
Yeah.
They
like
can
a
blend
fear
in.
that I'm like, I'm happy to have that fear, and I will live with that fear, and I will never fucking.
Yeah.
I'm not challenging that fear. It's like with snakes, I'm like, fuck, bro. I want to walk around. I want to explore. It's just fucking part of life, and at the end of the day, there's no saying that there's not going to be a snake in, like. And this is once again, I know that it's fucking scary to some people, but like, there's literally more chances of you coming across a snake in your house in society because we've created such a problem with rats and mice that, like, I see less snakes out my way and get so little call outs for snakes than the snake catcher up here would get.
Oh, yeah.
And the snakes in people's fucking homes. And so, like, out in nature, the only worry, I say worry, but the only thing to be aware of is that you have less time to get to hospital.
Yeah.
You're going to take a lot longer to get airlifted, to get fucking... So just having that pressure bandage will give you the time you need to survive, and that's the main thing. It's like, you'd rather have it than die without it.
Yeah, that's it, man. And like that pressure bandage, what would you... It's a tool, a life-saving tool at the end of the day. Like, we carry these tools, whether it be like a physical thing like that, you know, a tool of the mind to get you through fucking something, like, it's just tools that keep us, you know, keep us going at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a good tool to have.
Fucking know.
That's the other thing. If the venom gets into your organs, then that's where it causes real issues. And that's what I'm very highly aware of. It's like, some people don't get as lucky as others with the venom. It depends how long it goes into your system, so you've really got to be careful of that. And it's one thing that I do not play with. It's like, you can't have a bad day snake catching. You can, but it's gonna fuck. It could potentially fuck you for the rest of your life.
Well, shit, yeah.
It's just, but yeah, no, enough of that subject. Probably start scaring people. But it's just. It probably also might give one person awareness that never caught that never took that bandage, and they're like, damn.
100%. The amount it's actually a lot of people from the States on here. So if any of you Yankees are looking at coming over, that's the information that you need.
Yeah, yeah. Don't fear them. They're actually a beautiful thing. Snakes. They have such a like essence about them, and I actually feel like they're so misunderstood. Yes, they're very powerful, and they can cause some damage, but they've had to adapt to be that way to survive, and that's what you need to understand about them. They don't want to go and kill humans.
The Bible doesn't portray snakes too well, does it?
No, I don't think so. I
think that is the message gets taken the wrong way there. You know, you see a snake and you think, oh, the devil. Yeah. But nah, they are beautiful. They got fucking personality and all sorts of stuff. I used to have a python, I would have been 16, 17, Bundy, I named him. He actually snuck out of his enclosure one night, and I found him on the road the next morning.
True.
Of all things, got hit by a fucking car.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, run over, spewing. But yeah, he's in a better place now, see. Bundy.
Yeah, that's it, eh? Out of this world that hates on snakes.
Yeah, well, we better wrap it up so we can have some dinner, eh?
Yeah, you're right, bro. We'll do that. Definitely went with the wind, that one.
Oh, for sure. It was a good chat, man. Is there anything else that you wanted to quickly get out before we lock it up?
No, that was a good chat. I wasn't even sure what we were going to touch on this time, because I did, like, at least last time I had a story to tell, I guess.
This is the ones like that you just go with. They're the best, man.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's not structured. You can tell when things are structured, and it can, I don't know, it's sort of like you're trying to steer the conversation or the ship too much.
Yeah.
Whether, you know, we know that, you know, if we got a good, comfortable space, good company, and we can actually just sit down and have a chat, I respect you. You know, like, fucking, I love the things that you talk about. You know, a lot of the stuff that you say hits home for me. You know, that's why I love having you out at the retreats. I love having you in my environment, and that I actually see fucking really, really big things for you. I don't know what those things are, man. I don't know what's going to unfold, but I feel it. Big things, you know. In not just like the glass world, in whatever it is that you do, it's just you. It's your presence. Whatever you do is going to be good because you're a fucking good cunt. You've seen the dark, you've lived it, you know, and people that have been through that can relate to it as well, man. And yeah, got some good things coming, I think. I think just it's like that. It's that wonder. It's like when. So you're probably thinking, now, when are these fucking things coming, Corey?
No,
they always come, you know, like what you fucking put out there, the seeds that you plant, you know, the way that you tend to that garden with the seeds that you plant, like those things will, you know, you just don't have control of when they bloom.
Yeah.
When you know, they start to really blossom. And shit like that. And like what is really blossoming at the end of the day anyway.
Exactly right, eh?
Yeah. That's when it comes like, what am I growing?
You can't force the best things, you know. It's like this, as you said with the podcast, like I could have, and don't get me wrong, it took a bit of willpower for me because my brain likes to think ahead. For the last few days of trying to, like, I wouldn't stop it when it would happen, but I'd be like, I don't really want to think about too much to say then, because I feel like that'll fuck the flow up. And like sometimes my mate Bill and I will just like have a Snapchat call and be like, fuck, that would have been a good podcast. Just like, and we didn't plan that call out, it just unfolded, you know, from us. Then we're just like, fuck, bro, we gotta go get back to our lives. Like, that was a lot longer of a phone call than we thought it was going to be, but it was what needed to happen. You could tell in the moment, and
yeah, fucking know.
It's I think that's what I try to practice, is just to flow with the moment, and you've definitely taught me that, you know, in a lot of ways, just to just flow with it. And the retreats have given me that option. I mean, I was never really I definitely an overthinker over my lifetime, and especially in school and shit, I'd be like, fuck, you know, when it comes to your turn or some shit, you're like, but at least at the retreats, when like it comes to your turn in the sharing circles or whatever, like it's a good practice to just, because I feel like inevitably, I don't know, for me, I'm not always that confident, or like I feel that heaviness in the moment of like when you're like, all right, your fucking turn to talk, and I'm like, oh fuck, like here we go, like I'm just sitting there like I don't even know what the fuck I'm gonna say, but then you just start talking, and whatever comes up comes out, and that's as you say, it was what was meant to come out. And the more I do that, the more I start to realize like that's very important. And I actually messaged someone last night, just they were telling me a bunch of stuff, and the first thing that came to me, I just wrote it out, and I was like, I'm sorry if this isn't or what you want to hear from me, but like this is just what come to me instantly in this moment, and I don't really have any answers for you, but this is what I got to say. And they were like, man, thank you so much. Like it's like you read the compassionate side of my mind and wrote that out for me. And I was like, it's just a reminder of just go with it. Even sometimes if your ego or whatever questions things, the best way to be is just in the moment and flowing and just let it be, let it just fucking happen. And yeah, I think you're a good example of that.
Cheers, brother.
Just even the podcast of being that way, I think it's important.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, whatever's meant to happen will happen. And like, you'd probably know this one too. I think Ram Dass, he said, I think his teacher taught him, he left him, I think it was Ram Dass. His teacher left him with these 3 things to remember: love everyone, serve everyone, and know God or remember God. Those 3 things. And when I heard that, I was like, yeah, that's all I need to know. That's all I need to know to move forward. Love everyone, serve everyone, know God. And the way I've found to be able to do that and know how to do that is by looking within or loving who I am, everything about who I am. Because that's what it's allowed me to love everybody else. Everybody else is just another variation of me.
Yeah.
Another variation of you. That's how I sort of see it. Beneath all the bullshit, we're the same. 100%. We all bleed the same. We all are just here fucking being.
We all shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all fucking, we all have to go to the fucking toilet. We all do them same functions.
We all breathe the same air. We all are born into this world the same. We all fucking take a sip of air first, and when we leave, we all let that sip go.
Hey, we all got a lot more in common than we think. We just all them costumes separate us a bit, and I feel like a big thing that I needed to learn, and like obviously we have financial separation, and I feel like that's one thing that kind of like it's been a battle in my life. Obviously, like I think we all want to be financially stable enough to be able to live without the stress of the financial, but like I don't know, like I think that's a bit of an illusion in itself anyway. But I think the money thing, like people use the riches or the illusion of being rich to sway people
to get more rich.
To get more. I think it becomes like an addiction in itself.
Yeah, like we all know, like people desire, like we know people want financial freedom, like you said, and to be able to flaunt that, is that what you're saying? Like, and I guess make people desire it more. Yeah,
I think it's like acting as if that's going to fulfill you maybe, or like I feel like, I don't know, I've never been rich, so I can't really say, but at the same time, I don't really feel like it brings you fulfillment, and I feel like there's a lot of hollowness behind having that so much money as well that you kind of don't know what to do with it. I feel like that's like a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Yeah.
Like it would be hard in its own way, and as I said, like I'm not rich. I'm not going to say that I wouldn't like to be rich, just because fuck, who wouldn't want to have enough money to be able to just do what they need to do, but I often try not to get caught up in that one, and I think a lot of people get caught up in that one, the money thing, but I feel like it's also like a bit of a trap in its own way.
Right. Maybe. Yeah, it is. For sure. And like I've thought about this a little bit too, like the desire, like I'm like, am I wrong for desiring money? Like, because I've been seeing it a lot differently now. I don't desire to have money to like have more money in my bank account than somebody else, and I know like having a lot of money in my bank account won't make me happy. It will give me more opportunities, but it's not going to ultimately, make me happy. But I have come to the realization that I can have the desire for it, even though desire can lead to suffering, but desiring it in a way like, for example, if I had a certain amount of money in a bank account, to be able to say, and I've spoken to you about this, buy a bigger, more secluded block of land, to have, I guess, more space, to create the space that I created for you and everyone else that comes to do the retreats out there. And use the shit in a good way.
Yeah.
Use it in a good way.
Yeah, I think it's beneficial, and I just, I guess it's hard to explain, but I try to ground myself and be like, look, at least you got by this week and you were managed to, because I guess it's a bit different for me. Like, I don't really making art is very challenging sometimes, because if you don't create, you don't make money. Like, I'm a full-time artist, you know what I mean? It's a bit different than just creating as a hobby. And it's like, bro, if you don't fucking make this piece, you ain't gonna be fucking paying rent, so you better like
do it.
Yeah, do it. And that's been a big lesson for me. And I guess I often think, like, if it was about money, then maybe I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing as well. It's like, there's a lot easier ways to make money, but I'm choosing not to do that. So maybe it's not ultimately about the money, because I'll go get a job and start working and shit, and I'm like, ultimately all I want to be doing is spending time with the people that I love, and in my own, not wasting time, not feeling like, going to this job isn't fulfilling what I want to be doing in this life. And I think that's important to question. It's like, is what you're doing, maybe you might be making all this money by doing it, but is it fulfilling you in the soul? Because maybe you could make a bit less money and just get by, but be doing something that you really do love, and yeah, it also has its challenges, but so does the never ending chase for making more and more money. It's like it's an interesting one. I think we're better off to be making enough to be having a good impact on the world than trying to just make more and more and sacrifice connection.
Yeah.
I think that's a big one.
Absolutely. That storm's rolling in, eh?
Yeah.
All right.
It's a good place to leave it.
Yeah, I think so. Hope Kels brought that speaker in. In my chair.
Getting it soaking.
Yeah. All right, man. Thanks so much for coming on. Did you spending the night here? We're gonna go have some fucking dinner now, I reckon. I'm starving. Are you hungry?
Yeah, bloody good. Cooked by Kels, mate.
Cooked by Kels, that's it, man.
Home cooked meal.
Home cooked meal. And we got the retreat coming up too, so you're obviously more than welcome
Yeah, sick.
to come to that. You and Billy boy,
Yeah,
if he's around.
I might have another mate that was the one I was trying to put in touch with you.
Oh yeah.
I think he was going to try and head down and see where he's at.
Well, all right, I'm going to get these fucking doors shut.
Let's do it, eh?
All right, brah. Thanks again. Thanks everyone for listening in. If you guys want to go suss out Mitch's just Mitch himself, but all of the art and stuff that he creates, his glass art, and I'm sure there's going to be a heap of other different worlds that Mitch is going to tie himself into, and certain things that he's gonna create. So his Instagram, is it still Polar One?
2 underscores.
Polar _1.
Yeah.
POLR__1. You'll see all of his glass art on there, but yeah, go check him out and have a chat to him if you want to have a chat to him. He's a very wise man, wise individual, and he's gotten all that from his lived experience, and obviously a man that's on the inward journey, and more so than the outward journey, I would say. Like, that's sort of where we do a lot of growth. You can't change the world without changing the world within. So yeah, he's got some good shit to talk to you about. He's onto it. But yeah, thanks again, brother.
I appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate you too.
Love as always.
Yeah, much love to you too, man.
Always good to see ya.
Oh yeah. All right, bone bags. Take it easy. Go love yourselves.
Much
Bye-bye.
love.
Until we meet again.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Woo!